Welcome to AI TV News. Los Angeles is facing a courtroom showdown over protests, the National Guard, and United States Marines. A federal judge wants to know whether their deployment violates the 147-year-old Posse Comitatus Act, the law that keeps the military out of civilian policing. After large demonstrations against federal immigration raids, President Donald Trump ordered roughly 4,000 California National Guard members and 700 Marines into the city. He federalized the Guard, taking them out of Governor Gavin Newsom's control, and did so without the governor's consent. Newsom sued, calling the move an overreach that inflames rather than calms the protests. The White House counters that the troops are needed to protect federal personnel and property, citing a statute that lets a president deploy the Guard when regular forces can't enforce federal law. United States District Judge Charles Breyer initially sided with California, ruling that the president had exceeded his authority and directing that control of the Guard be returned to the governor. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals quickly paused that order, so the troops remain under federal command for now. Back in Breyer's courtroom, the focus has narrowed to the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. The act bars the Army and Air Force, and by extension, federalized National Guard units and the Marines, from performing domestic law enforcement duties. The primary exception is the Insurrection Act, which allows a president to send troops to quell rebellion or enforce the law when local authorities cannot. The administration has not invoked that act. Normally, the Guard operates under state authority, a status known as Title 32. When shifted to full federal command, Title 10, they fall squarely under Posse Comitatus. No arrests, no searches, no crowd control without explicit congressional or Insurrection Act approval. Presidents have rarely pushed this boundary. Dwight Eisenhower used the Insurrection Act to enforce school desegregation in Little Rock, and George H.W. Bush invoked it during the 1992 Los Angeles riots. But in both cases, the statute was formally cited. Governor Newsom argues that without that explicit authority, the current deployment is illegal, pointing to reports of uniformed troops accompanying federal agents and even detaining a civilian. The Justice Department insists the Guard is merely supporting federal officers, not policing protesters, and therefore acting within the law. The stakes are high. A coalition of retired generals and admirals has warned that blurring the line between soldier and cop could erode public trust and constitutional norms, while state officials say it also undermines their sovereignty. Judge Breyer has ordered both sides to file new briefs, due next week, explaining whether the mission crosses the Posse Comitatus line. His ruling, subject to quick appeal, will determine who controls the Guard in Los Angeles and how far a president can go in using the military at home. For now, the troops stay on the streets. The protests continue, and the nation waits for the courts to decide where the Constitution draws the line between public safety and military power.